How's it going, guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Build in Trailmakers. In this video, I think we're going to attempt to build a hydrofoil. Had a couple of comments about a hydrofoil, so let's see what we can do about that, shall we? Let's get to work. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to want to start with is our hydrofoils themselves. So I am going to start with a couple of these 4x1s, and let's go 3 across, and we're going to pop out a couple of small hinges. Lock this, green down, put a double set like this, double set like that. Actually, let's go one more wide. Lock that, just so we got a little bit of stability. Now on there we want to attach our large paddle, our water wing. We'll put a couple of those puppies on there like that. Now let's select all of our hinges, and we're going to set these to an angle of 10 degrees. Speed is 0.1. And we want those to go green. We'll say number 1. We'll toggle those. Get rid of any other controls, but we don't have a seat on there, so there are no controls as of yet. Okay, so we've got that, and now we're going to just bring out the body a wee bit, like this, and like that, and like that. Now we're obviously going to go a little longer than that, but for now we just need to copy this, not this. And we're going to copy it up so it doesn't mirror. And we'll bring that to the back, and this is where we can determine our length. So we want to go one more about like that. That should work, so we can bring that down and connect that. Those should still be set to number 1. But as soon as we put our seat in there, so let's go with our jet seat, just because it is the most aerodynamic seat. And where are we going to put that? Somewhere right about here, and it's a 5 long seat, so we'll have to bring this back 1. And we'll drop that down there. We want to try and keep the bottom as flat as possible so that it's not coming into contact with the water. So once we get that on there, now let's add a thruster, shall we? So let's add a single thruster to the back right here. And we're going to need something to keep us afloat, seeing as how this is a hydrofoil. It's going to start out in the water. We'll go with our medium pontoons, and we'll go about like that. And then we'll copy these out to the front like that. That should keep us afloat, so let's build that into the world. And we'll bring it over here to the water just to make sure that it floats. That should be very easily floatable. And it is. So if we hit space, we have our 1 thruster, which will probably drive us into the water. It's slightly above our center of gravity. If we hit number 1 though, fin should come out. Well, it seems like it wants to push us down a little bit. Again, no stabilization as far as vertical stabilization. Alright, back to the spawn point, back to build mode. We need to add a little bit more weight to the back and some stability. So what we're going to do is, let's get rid of these, and we are going to copy this to here. So we're going to bring it down 1. We'll copy 1 to the other side. Come see, come saw, just like that. Now, stabilization, we're going to go with some fins in the back. Oh. Let's see, we can go like this. So let's try that in the water again. She's still a wee bit heavy in the back. We're going to need some water propellers on there for sure, so we're going to add a couple of these underneath. Look that. Actually, let's try bringing these up 1. So again, we want to try and keep the bottom as flat as possible. Can we use these to hold those? Sure we can. Sure we can. We can do whatever we like. Okay, so we got that like that. We're going to need a little bit more floaty, I think, in the back. So we haven't even added all our parts yet, and it doesn't want to float. So we'll bring this like this. No way connecting that, so we'll stand it up. Maybe drop it down a little bit. We can mask that with some slope pieces underneath here for our aerodynamics. So let's test that in the water. We'll bring it over here. We'll jump in, and we got to go back into build mode because I forgot to set my propellers to space. We don't go backwards here. So like this. Big 50 kilometers an hour if we hit number 1 or bring our hydrofoils out. Get up to 150 it looks like. Still don't have any steering, just using seat steering at this point so we don't run into the land. Underneath we still have some drag, so you can see what's touching the water. It'd be the bottom of that and our propellers a little bit. Now that 150. So let's hit build here. I normally don't like building in the water because the water line can get in the way. So let's try setting our angles here from 10 to, let's try 12. A couple of degrees difference will make a difference. So we'll build that in, jump in, hit the gas, hit number 1. If we can get ourselves completely out of the water, which the only thing touching the water now is the very bottom of that pontoon, which we can deal with a couple of sloped pieces. So even those 2 degrees difference, we're doing 156, and we have no aerodynamic pieces on there yet. So let's go back to land, and we'll throw some aerodynamics and some steering on there. See if we can get this thing going up over 200 clicks. First thing we need to do is deal with our cavities in the front here. Let's go cavities need a dentist. So we'll put a 3 in there. 1 there. Gonna take our small 2x1 wedge here. Put it in between our hinges. That's going to leave no blank spots in there. We could have something coming off this back side, so let's grab a 1x4 like this. Place those on either side. Now we've got those coming out like that. Let's bring these out here. And then we can use a 1x4 slope piece turned sideways to hold that on. Same thing over on this side. Now we've got those like that. And if we wanted to, we could even rotate this up so we've got extra connection points on the outside and the top. So let's do that, just in case we need to use those. Alright, so now we've got some gaps back here that we can fill with either a solid piece, like this. Can even go another one out. Copy one out to there. We don't want any hollow spots. We could stick a deuce back here. Again, trying to keep our thrust and our weight all along this main line. Don't want really anything above or below, or else it's going to end up lifting us out of the water, which we don't want to do. We're not flying anywhere. So let's grab some slope pieces. Some 1x4s. See how that looks if those are on there. That will be fairly aerodynamic, but that's not doing anything for the front of these jets. So you got like a darker green. We want this nice, fast looking green line. So yeah, we're gonna have to do something with that red in the front of these as well. Okay, so for first things first, let's copy these up. That'll take care of that. It gives ourselves a bit of a slopey front end here. Let's go, can we go with like a 4x4 for the top? This, and take these, get rid of those, and use a 1x4 slope, again with the slope facing forward, like that. We'll keep that nice and aerodynamic. We could, if we wanted to, go with, hey now, you're an all-star. So we'll flip those upside down, pop those underneath. But we might want to go a little bit wider underneath here, and then go with a 3 under there. So Something like that. Bit of a fancy pointy front end on there. And then these ones here we can go with, see, we can even probably bring these out like this. If we wanted to, we could bring them right out to the front. But we'll go like that. We'll put 4s on here like this. And then we're going to copy one of these 4s out like this. So we can put it right in here. Copy it to the other side. And now, if we wanted to get fancy, we could go with a maybe like a 4. Yeah, that's going to leave a lot of that sticking out. Unless we decide to move these out to the same distance. Because we got the power. So like that and like this, and then move those out to there. And these ones here, actually, we could just scooch those out because we can grab a 1x4 slope. Put it right there in the front. Everything is all skookum up there. I bet it's all green, except for that spot there in the front. So that's pretty easy to fix. Couple of deuces. Drop it down. Bang, bang. Alright. So now, what are we going to do off of here for the body? The body, eh? So these ones here can't come out any further than that because there's no connection points. But if we bring it up like this, so bring it out and up, that gives us the ability to grab this here straight one and this one here, copy it back, and maybe one more. Right on. No bold spots or blank spots underneath there. Now we just need something under here to hold these, so we're going to grab some of our 2x2 slope pieces here, put one there, bring one out to here, we'll copy these 2 to the other side, like that, and then we got a couple of little holes down here that we'll need to fill with a couple of 2x2s, like that, and like that. Alright, no more real gaps per se, except for the back of this thing, which we can simply solve with this. So now let's look at our aerodynamics. It's all green across the board. Oh, look at that. Found some red and some orange. Oh, right, we said we were going to put some sloped pieces down here in front of this. I should get rid of those. And then these here. So, I mean, we probably could go with the 4. Let's go with the 3. 3x1 slope like that, and it eliminates the drag. Alright, let's try that in the water. Let's see if it even still floats. Ish. We have to get moving in the water to keep it above the water. Right? Oh, our jets are in the water, out of the water, in the water, out of the water. Okay, hit number 1. Let's lift ourselves up. 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240. It's not bad. Almost 250. Do we have any turning? We have no steering at this point. But we got 250 miles an hour, kilometers an hour. Not bad. Alright, let's go back and put some steering on it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to try with steering is we're going to try using these fins that are already on the back. And I've decided to pull these out of here because we're going to put these, theoretically, we're going to put these in there like this, and we're going to turn them sideways, connection points on the inside, right down like that. Same thing with this one. So that makes it even flatter on the bottom, and now we don't even necessarily need these ones because there's no drag from those anymore. And we are going to, let's see, what are we going to do with this thing? We can rotate it now. We got the width, so we can get rid of this as well. We've got that one popping off the back there. Okay, so if I keep that like that, and we go with a large hinge on the back, green is going to make us turn left. Red is going to make us turn right. We're going to go 20-degree angle at 0.1. We're going to grab a 2x2 slope And we're going to copy these. Actually, should we even copy those or just bring them back? Bring it on back. Okay, let's bring them on back. Like that. Okay, so let's go into the water and test that to see if we actually have some steering or if it's just going to end up flipping us over. We're just going to be above the surface of the water, so. Okay, well that seems to turn us pretty good in the water when we have some drag. But let's see, we'll hit number 1. Get up out of the water. Okay, we still have a little bit of drag from those. So we might need to go up a little bit. Oh, okay, we're out of the water at 290. 300. Okay, let's try and turn. Okay, we're turning. 307 kilometers an hour. And we are hydrofoiling. Nothing touching the water. It's not turning too overly sharp, but I imagine if we try and turn too sharp, we're going to end up getting lift. So let's go back to the spawn point. We'll try giving it a little bit more turnage. A couple more angles on there. Maybe go up to 25. Go up to 25 for steering. It would be nice to have a little bit more flotation in the back so we're not sinking in the water all the time. Okay, so something similar to that, and then if we want to fancy it up a little bit more, we'll grab some of these 2x4 slope pieces here like this, and we're going to put that like that maybe. No, don't like it. So we're going to come back over here, we're going to take a look at what we got. We are going to copy these back. This is going to give us that square front end, kind of hockey puck looking UFO effect. We are going to copy this one. Spin it right around. Put it under there. We don't have enough room for another one there, but we don't really want to interfere with this as it's moving. That's going to create another drag spot there, but we're going to deal with that by, again, our little tiny wedge here. We'll put the wedge in facing back like this so it's not interfering with our fin that's going to come down. Copy this over to the other side as well. So we should still all be aerodynamic that way. We got our extra pieces. We got some spots back here where we could copy that up like that. Do the same thing on the other side. And then we can grab maybe is a 1x4 like this. And it can be right out over top like that. So we don't have any other connection points for there. We can't go any further there. I mean, we could try and bring it down, but if we go like this, let's see how this looks if we do this. We go like that. Grab these, copy them up, and then bring them in one. Like that. What about in two? No, of course not. No connection points for you lads. So we're going to need to fill those gaps underneath there. Good thing we put that extra flotation stuff in the back there. Okay, so is this something we can just copy up? And copy over this way. It is. Okay, so we'll grab a deuce. Fill in this hole. Copy one to the other side. There shouldn't be any more empty holes in there. So that should be all nice and aerodynamic. Except for, what's this? Oh, right, the back of those. Oh, I see it. Oh, I see it. So again, our trusty little slopes. Drop those in there. 1, 2, and 3. Backside here. Let's go with maybe something like this. That and lock that, but this one is not mirrored. And now it is. So we've got something like that. Alright, color. Maybe a bright yellow racing stripe. And then, what's a good color to contrast? That would be, I think a blue would be a good color to contrast the yellow. So if we go with blue on the, hey, I don't like it when it does that, eh? The pieces jump around on their own. We got our blue racing stripe here. And then we'll make these two blue as well. So we've got a racing hydrofoil. Time for a final test. There she be. Looks very slick. Spacebar. Spacebar gives us like 60 kilometers an hour. A little bit more when we get at the thrusters coming out of the water. But if we hit number 1, she lifts out of the water and away she goes. 230, 240, 250. 280, 290, 300, 310, 320, 330 just for good measure. There we go. And we did increase our steering a little bit, so we do have some turning at least. It's not as sharp as it probably could be, but it's still not bad that we stay above the water, not touching, hydrofoiling at 310, 315 kilometers an hour. So that there is the hydrofoil, folks. That's how you build a hydrofoil. So this is the part where I'd like to say thanks to all the subscribers and thank you to all the new subscribers. If you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment. We're going to leave that one here. Hope this helped you guys out building a hydrofoil. Hope you have fun building it. If you enjoyed this, check out some of this end screen content here. And we'll see you in the next one. Ciao.